Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to my channel Yarn with Abarna. In this video tutorial I am going to show you how can we knit this easy and fast baby boots. This is very easy to make. Before going to this video, if you visit my channel first time means don't forget to subscribe my channel. Let's start our project. According to your size, you are going to choose the needle size. If you are going to make this baby boots for newborn baby to 6 months means you are going to choose 3 mm knitting needle. If you are going to make this baby boots for 6 month to 1 year baby means you are going to choose 3.25 mm knitting needle. 1 year to 1.5 year means you are going to choose 3.5 mm. 1.5 year to 2 year means you are going to choose 3.75 mm. 2 year to 2.5 year means you are going to choose 4 mm. 2.5 to 3 years means you are going to use 4.25 mm. In this video, I am going to make this boots for my baby girl. Her name is Jivanya. She is 2.5 years old. So I am going to choose 4 mm knitting needle. I am going to start with 55 cast on. So the total number of the cast on is same for all these ages. The only one difference is you are going to choose the needle size according to your size. Now I am going to make this for 2.5 year baby. So I am going to choose 4 mm knitting needle. So now I am going to cast on 55. So for this cast on, I am going to use long tail cast on method. You can choose any style of cast on, that's your wish. For long tail cast on method, I am going to leave some amount of yarn. After that, you are going to make a slip knot. Now I am going to join the needle into this. So this is the first cast on in my needle. Now I am going to make a remaining 54 cast on. Like this is my second cast on. This is my third one, fourth one, fifth one. Continue this total of 55. Using long tail cast on method, I cast on 55. Now I am going to enter my row 1. Before going to this, I am going to tell something. For the clear edges, always in every row, I simply slip the first loop in knitwise and I am going to make a purl stitch into the last loop. Please remind this. Only for this used for the clear edges or smooth edges. I simply slip the first loop in knitwise and make a purl stitch into the last loop. Please remind this. So I am going to work my row 1. So this is my first loop in this row 1. So I simply slip the first loop in knitwise. After that, you simply make one knit stitch in every loop until you reach the last loop. You can see, I simply make one knit stitch in every loop like this. You can see, this is my last loop. Into this, I am going to make a purl stitch. Now row 1 is completed. I am going to work in my row 2. For this, continue the same. You simply slip the first loop in knitwise. Make one knit stitch in every loop. Into the last, make one purl stitch. Continue the same, total of 18 rows. You can see, I simply make one knit stitch in every loop. Into the last, you simply make a purl stitch. After that, move to the row 3, continue the same. You simply make you simply slip the first loop in knitwise. So remaining you have 53. Into that you simply make one knit stitch. Into the last loop you simply make a purl stitch. Continue this total of 18 rows. After finishing my 18th row, I'll show you. Okay. Continue the same pattern. You can see. I nearly done this row. You can see this is the last loop. So into this I am going to make purl stitch. Continue this. After finishing my row 18, I'll show you.
You can see I simply continue the same pattern, repeat and repeat, total of 18 rows. So in this stage I have 9 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and then 9 lines. So I finish my 18 rows. Now I am going to enter my row 19. In this stage totally you have 55 loops because initially I cast on 55. So in this stage totally you have 55 loops. Now I am going to divide it into 3 parts. 22 loops, then 11 loops and then 22 loops. 22, 22, remaining I have 11 in my center. So now I simply keep this 11 loop and also I am going to decrease 1 from this 22 loops and also this 22 loops. I am going to explain how can I do. So first I simply make 22 knit stitch into that 22 loops. You can see this is my first loop. I simply slip the first loop for the clear edges. This is my first one. This is my second one. 3, 4, 5. You can see I simply make 20 knit stitch. This is my 21 and then this is my 22. So I simply make 22 knit stitch into the first 22 loops. Then I have 11. If you are reaching that 11 means you simply make 10 knit stitch into the first 10 loops. Into the 11th you are going to make knit 2 together. This is the pattern. So you can see this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I simply make 10 knit stitch. Now I am going to work in my 11th stitch. So into this I am going to make knit 2 together. 1, 2. So I simply make knit 2 together. If you are going to make knit 2 together means always it is going to decrease 1 from this side. The next row you are going to decrease in this side. So after making the 11th stitch you are going to turn your project. I am not going to work in this side. I simply turn my project like this. Like this. Now I am going to work the 11 stitches. So first 10 I simply make 10 knit stitch like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is my 11th one. If you are reaching the 11th one means knit 2, 2 together. You can see this is the first loop and then this is the second loop. I simply knit 2 together. So I simply decrease 1 loop in this side. So turn your project. Continue the same. Make 10 knit stitch into the 11th one, knit 2 together. Turn your project. Make 10 knit stitch into the 11th one, knit 2 together. You are going to continue the same, repeat and repeat until you reach 13, 11 and then 13 stitches. So this 11 is same. I simply keep this 11 loops. I simply decrease from this side 22 to 13 loops. So I simply decrease 9 loops from this side and also this side. After finishing this 13, 11 and then 13, I'll show you what are the next step for this project.
You can see I simply continue the same pattern, repeat and repeat. This is my row 36. In this stage I have 13 loops and then 11 loops and then 13 loops. So 13, 13, 26 and plus 11, 37 loops I have in this stage. You can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. 13 for this side. In the center I have 11. You can see you all see the one line. If you are going to work means you are going to see the one line in this stage. So from this line to this remaining I have 11 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So after that you have 13 loops in this stage. This is the correct line. Okay. In my row 36, I simply make 10 knit stitch. Into the 11th one, I simply make knit 2 together. So after that remaining you have 13 loops in this side. So normally we are simply turn your project, make 10 knit stitch. But in this stage I have 13 remaining loops. So I am going to continue in this way. In my row 36, I am going to continue the same. I simply make 1 knit stitch in every loop like this. Like this, I simply make a 1 knit stitch in every loop. Into the last, I simply make a purl stitch for the clear edges. Turn your project. This is my row 37. In this row 37, you simply make 1 knit stitch in every loop. I simply slip the first loop for the clear edges. Remaining all loops, you simply make 1 knit stitch until you reach the last loop. This is the last loop. Into this I am going to make one purl stitch. Row 37 is completed. Move to the next row. This is my row 38. Into that I am continuing the same. I simply make one knit stitch in every loop. For the clear edges, simply slip the first loop and make the purl stitch into the last loop. After finishing row 38, I will show you. I finish 38 rows. This is my row 39. In this stage, I am going to make a gap. This is used for join the lace. You can see this is the gap. Into this gap, you are going to join the lace. So for that, I am going to change the pattern. This is very easy to make. In the first loop, I simply slip in knitwise for the clear edges. Okay. After that, I am going to make. You can see after I slip the first loop, I am going to yarn over once and knit two together. So the total number of the loop is same because I simply increase one loop using yarn over and also decrease one loop using knit two together. Continue the same. Yarn over once, knit two together. Yarn over once, knit two together. Continue the same for this row. Yarn over once, knit two together. Continue the same, repeat and repeat. Yarn over once, knit two together. Yarn over once. Remaining you have two loops on your hook. I simply make one knit stitch because in the last loop I am going to make the purl stitch for the clear edges. In this stage, this is my row 39. I am going to work row 40 using the another color. Only for that reason I am going to change the yarn in this stage. Okay. So for that I am going to change my next color yarn. You can choose any color, that's your wish. I am going to choose this color and I am going to change the yarn. Sorry. Okay. Now row 39 is completed. I am going to work my row 40 using this color. I simply leave this red color in this stage. I am not going to cut this. So now we are going to enter the design for this. Okay, so you can see this is the model. This design is followed by 4 rows. This is 4-row repeated pattern. Okay, I continue this design total of 5 times. 1 2 3 4 5. So this design is contains 4 rows. 4 rows repeated pattern. So you are going to consider this is the first row for this design. So first you simply slip the first loop in knitwise for the clear edges. After that you simply make one purl stitch in every loop, like you can see. Like this, you simply make one purl stitch in every loop until you finish this row. Like this, you simply make one purl stitch. So row 1 is completed for this design. Now I am going to enter my row 2. So you can see in this stage you are like this gap. This is used for joining the lace. So this is my row 2 for this design. Always you simply slip the first loop for clear edges in knitwise. After that you are going to make one purl stitch into the next loop. After that into the next loop you simply slip in purlwise like this. Continue the same. One purl stitch, slip in purlwise. One purl stitch, you simply slip in purlwise in the next loop. One purl stitch, slip the next loop in purlwise. One purl stitch, slip the next loop in purlwise. Continue the same. One purl, slip the next loop in purlwise. Continue the same, repeat and repeat for this row. I continue the same, repeat and repeat. You can see. So this is the last loop. Into this I am going to make a purl stitch. Move to the next row. So this is the third row for this design. I simply slip the first loop in knitwise for the clear edges. This is the next loop. You can see. If your slip in normal purlwise means you are going to make a knit stitch into that. This is the rule. You can see this is the normal slip in your previous row. So into this I am going to make a one knit stitch. Move to the next. This is the purl stitch of your previous row. So into this I am going to make one purl stitch. Continue the same. One knit stitch. If you are going to make one knit stitch, means that is the normal slip in purlwise in your previous row. So into that loop you simply make one knit stitch. If you are making purl stitch in your previous row, means into this row also you are going to make one purl stitch. This is one knit, one purl. Continue the same. One knit stitch, one purl stitch, one knit stitch, one purl stitch. Continue the same, repeat and repeat. One knit stitch, one purl stitch, one knit stitch, one purl stitch. You can see now I am going to make one knit stitch into this. So this is the normal slip in purlwise in my previous row. So into this I am going to make one knit stitch. Now I am going to make a purl stitch into this. You can see this is the purl stitch in my previous row. So into this row also I am going to make a purl stitch. So continue the same. One knit, one purl. Continue this for this row. This is the last loop. Into this loop I simply make a purl stitch for the clear edges. The principle is same. For the clear edges you simply make a first loop in normally slip in knitwise. Into the last loop you simply make a purl stitch. This is same. So turn your project. This is my row 4 for this design. In your row 4 you simply make one knit stitch in every loop like this. I simply slip the first loop. So I simply make one knit stitch in every loop until you finish this row. I simply make one knit stitch in every loop. This is the last loop. Now after finishing the fourth row for this design, I am going to change the yarn color. I simply leave this color and I am going to join this red color and make a purl stitch. Now one set of design is I have. So you are going to continue this 4 rows, repeat and repeat. So for example, now I am going to use this color. This is my first row. You simply make one purl stitch in every loop. Into the second row, you simply make a one purl stitch. Normally slip the next loop in purlwise. One purl, slip in purlwise. One purl, slip in purlwise. Into the third row, you simply make a one knit stitch. If you work in your previous row, that is normal purlwise slip, means into that you are going to make one knit stitch. In your previous row you have purl stitch, means into this you are going to make one purl stitch. So one knit, one purl, one knit, one purl. You are going to continue that pattern. In your row 4 you simply make one knit stitch in every loop. This is very easy pattern. You are going to continue this 4 rows, repeat and repeat, total of 5 times. So after finishing this 5 times, I'll show you what are the next step for this project. This is very easy to make. If you have any doubt relating to this, please leave your comment in comment section. You can see I simply continue the same pattern. This is my 5th time and this is my row 4. In my row 4, I simply make one knit stitch in every loop. For that, I simply slip the first loop in knitwise. So after that, I simply make one knit stitch in every loop. I simply make one knit stitch in every loop. This is my last loop. Now I am going to change the yarn color and also cut this yarn. So you can see I simply cut this yarn and I am going to change the yarn color. So into this I am going to make purl stitch using these two colors. So after finishing this, turn your project. This is your wrong side of your project. Into this you simply make one purl stitch in every loop. So for the clear edges, I simply slip the first loop in knitwise. Move to the next loop. Into this I am going to make one purl stitch. Move to the next. Into this I am going to make one purl stitch. Continue the same. In every loop I simply make one purl stitch. You can see I nearly finished this row. I simply make one purl stitch in every loop. This is my last loop. Into this also I am going to make one purl stitch for the clear edges. Turn your project. Your project looks like this. Now I am going to make 2 lines for this border. So I am going to make 4 rows of knit stitch for this. So I simply slip the first loop in knitwise and make the purl stitch into the last loop. Into the remaining, you are simply make one knit stitch. You are going to continue this total of 4 rows. After finishing that 4 rows, I will show you. I simply make 4 rows of knit stitch. Now I am going to bind off all loops. So I simply slip the first loop in knitwise, make 1 knit stitch and make a bind off. Make 1 knit stitch and make a bind off. Continue the same for this row. So I simply make bind off all stitches. This is my last loop. So now your project look like this. Now you simply fold like this way. This is the wrong side of your project. You are going to fold like this. Using normal sewing needle, you are going to join these two sides, or if you love to crochet means use crochet hook joining these two sides. I'm going to use 3 mm crochet hook. You can use any that's your wish. I'm going to make single crochet for joining these sides. So you can see this is the first chain space in this side, and also this is the first chain space into this side. Now I am going to join the yarn and make chain 1. The chain 1 is counted as 1 single crochet. Move to the next chain. Into this you are going to make 1 single crochet. Continue the same. In every chain space you simply make 1 single crochet for joining these two sides. You can see I simply make 1 single crochet in this path. After that, make chain 1. I simply cut the yarn. So almost our project is ready. Now I am going to make the lace for this boots. This is the wrong side of our project. Now I am going to fold in my right side. You can see now our project is look like this. So now I am going to make the lace for this. For that I am going to choose this color yarn. You can choose any color, that's your wish. For that I am going to use 3 mm crochet hook. Okay. Now I am going to make a slip knot. After making the slip knot, insert the hook into this. Now I am going to make some basic chain. According to this baby boots, I am going to make 70 basic chain, like 1, 2, 3. Continue the same total of 70. You can see I simply make 70 basic chain. After making 70 basic chain, you will cut the yarn. Now I am going to join this into my boots. For that I am going to use safety pin. You can see. Now I am going to join this safety pin into this. You can see. This is the holes. Into this I am going to join this like this way. You can see now our project is ready. I simply make a knot in this. So I hope all are enjoying in this video. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe my channel because I need your support. If you dislike this video, don't hesitate to hit the dislike button and please share your thoughts. What are the reasons for dislike this video? Because that is very important to me for identify and rectify my mistakes. Okay friends, have a nice day. Happy with knitting.